We pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars. I could really use a wish right now.
Alright, so Larry Flacco says, actually the Xbox has rare replay. In defense of Xbox, of course. This comment is of course in direct response to my criticisms towards Xbox about not being able to keep up with the competition of Sony and Nintendo for having good exclusives, and by comparison they're a little bit lackluster and only having the Game Pass to hold them up really. Only problem with this comment being that Rare Replay is 5 years old. And also it's a compilation of really old Rareware games, and while it's a decent compilation of video games, it's at the end of the day just old games. It's not anything new. There's no new material to Rare Replay, and the game itself is already 5 years old, so it kind of makes it outdated, and it's still not worth the purchase of an Xbox in my opinion. Now Cliff Turbo says, Microsoft has one thing that is unlike anything the other two has: top quality differentiated Xbox controllers. I already replied to this comment in the comments, but I'm still disappointed with the way they handled the Xbox Series X, and by that I mean is that it's essentially an upgraded version of the Xbox One because the UI is essentially the same. There's hardly any differences to the controller either. The main changes in it is of course being, its new features, it's more powerful, all that kind of stuff, but it's like aesthetically and physically, it's still essentially the same as the Xbox One. And the thing is that when you have expectations for a new generation of consoles, you usually prefer like something new for the presentation, just to differentiate it from the previous generation of consoles, just to make it a little more interesting and that it can have its own identity in that way. And the new Xbox Series X doesn't really have that. It's still very, very similar to the Xbox One, and that's why I'm disappointed with the controllers and the UI like I mentioned earlier, because there's still essentially no changes from the Xbox One. Omar H says, it's okay to take responsibility over your mistakes, and honestly what I replied to this already sums up my thoughts, so there's really no need for further explanation beyond that. Now we have a Klein Master here replying, oh my god, I can't speak. Now we have Klein Master commenting hashtag fight for Doom under my I can't take this anymore video, as he should. And by the way, those of you who tweeted hashtag fight for Doom, I saw it and I appreciate it very much, because we need this movement to get trending. This injustice can no longer be allowed to continue. So you're quitting YouTube? LMAO, no, just watch the full thing. I did. So are you quitting YouTube? Omar once again coming through saying, here's my opinion, not subscribing to Deventerous means you're whack. And honestly, I couldn't agree more, which means you should subscribe to the channel to help your boy out. It means a lot to me and I appreciate it very much. And not subscribing to me means you're whack. Omar said it himself. Anyway, sorry about that. Back to the video. Now, Cheddar VG says, hey, at least they make really cool games, but I agree with their business practices not being all that great. They don't seem to care about their fans. From a company's perspective, I can kind of see where Nintendo is coming from, because at the end of the day, it's a goals company to increase profits by any means necessary, and whether the company's priorities are out of whack and the way they execute increasing their profits may be out of touch, which for a good amount of companies it is. But again, from a company's perspective, they can often see their fans not as fans, but rather as customers, just another avenue of profit or of revenue. So with that perspective in mind, they may begin to make business decisions that may seem good to them from from a revenue perspective, but not entirely of the benefit of their fans either. And to be fair, they have a difficult job on their back, because they have a lot of fans who are emotionally connected to them, and if they end up making wrong decisions, they get a lot of backlash for it. So it's a very intense sort of emotions that they have to deal with a lot of the time, and I'm sure they don't really care about that as much as they do making money anyways, because again, it's a company. But yeah, they still have to learn how to manage it, because the job they're doing right now is not exactly the best, but their products are still on point for the most part in my opinion. Now Ellie Wee Woo I'm sorry that name's funny. I'm sorry, my sense of humor, oh my god. Okay, let me recompose myself. Now, Ellie Wee Woo says, Mr. Krabs is such a great comparison. Adored products, but such a money pincher. Bikini Bottom loves Krabby Patties, and fans love their games. I'm kind of confused on where this comparison came from in the first place, because not once in that video did I ever mention Mr. Krabs, or none of the clips I put in that video, not that I recall, mentioned Mr. Krabs. So I have no idea where this comparison came from in the first place, but now that I think about it, I guess you're kind of right. Yeah, I mean, I guess when you think about it, that's actually kind of accurate, weirdly enough. Although people don't hate on Mr. Krabs for making wrong business decisions because, I mean, he never makes bad business decisions, so I guess there's that. Richiko Karuno, I hope I pronounced that correctly, says, they made Minecraft cost $30 and Minecraft is kind of cheap and I have to get Minecraft on phone and it's very good like the PlayStation 3. Whoa. Hold on, that was a lot. Okay, first thing is first, he's complaining about Nintendo making Minecraft $30 on the Switch, I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure Minecraft is like $30. Like every other version of it is also $30 except for Pocket Edition. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, you know, he's saying that they made Minecraft kind of cheap, but it's $30 everywhere else. So why are you complaining about the price of Minecraft when that's the average everywhere else? Now, Malik Miller says, this game kind of sucks. I still prefer Brawl than this. Plus, the DLC is not worth my time. I despise the characters. Like, I would grab Pico S, Uzi S, and shoot them in the face like Tankman S Army. I'm sorry, I had a stroke reading that. What the hell are you talking about, bro? But if you like Brawl more than Ultimate, then I can understand that, honestly. Subspace Emissary is pretty cool, and I mean, if you like competitive Brawl more than competitive Ultimate, then I guess you like camping. Now, okay, I'm gonna try and read out this name. GS10ZZ707458 Luis Arbor SS says, I enjoy the game, but I think Smash 4 is a bit more fun, but I still enjoy Ultimate, which, I mean, seems to be a lot of Ultimate players' prevailing opinions nowadays. A lot of them seem to prefer Smash 4 over Ultimate, but I think a lot of that, like the reason that opinion pops up a lot is because a lot of Ultimate players now were Smash 4 players back in the day, so they probably have, think of that game a little bit higher because they have nostalgia with that game, and honestly, I have a lot more memories with Smash 4 than Ultimate, but I still think Ultimate's a better game overall. Now, Scorpion Fire says, where's the Pro? In reference to the Nintendo Switch Pro that has been like leaked and rumored for a very long time now, and I think my reply to this comment is a very direct response. Like, I told him where this Nintendo Switch Pro is currently. You guys just gotta trust me, okay? I got that information from Reggie. Yeah, I got it from him. Like, he DM'd me on Twitter. Hey, look, I've said over and over and over again that my uncle works at Nintendo. Who do you think my uncle is, guys? Like, come on, we need to wake up to this information. Where do you think I get all this insider information from? Come on now. Now, 404 Moff says, to be honest, I think people trying to compare it to the new 3DS are missing the point, as the specs didn't change at all. It's more like the 3DS XL type of upgrading from the 3DS. Its main market could be people who don't own a Switch yet, just like the Switch Lite is for people who don't own a Switch but don't want to drop as much money. Now, this comment is in reference to criticisms against the recently announced Nintendo Switch OLED model. People claiming that it's not like a proper upgrade to the original Switch, but I fully agree with everything that Moff said here. I don't think it's supposed to be something that's supposed to upgrade the original as much of it is just like an enhancement, just like something to make the original a little bit better. I know a lot of people were complaining about the quality of the screen of the original model, and it has other features as well that I think, if you don't have the original Switch, then I think it's just a better version of the original, and if you have the extra money for it, then I don't see why not. It's not like it's $100 extra, so I don't really see the big deal in this version of the Nintendo Switch personally. Okay, so G's Mirai Verhoeven, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, bro. You have a weird name. Now, this guy says, personally, I hate having to unlock stuff. It happens so often that your favorite character has to be unlocked first. Bonus points if it has to be unlocked in an unlockable cup or an unlockable class. Yo, anyone who's watching this video, take a drink or a shot every single time this dude said unlockable in that paragraph. Honestly, I can understand where this perspective is coming from, just wanting to have everything right away, but personally, I think it's way more satisfying to, just like having characters and different card combinations to unlock, and it also incentivizes the players to keep coming back since they won't have everything right away, and a player might get bored faster if they have everything right away, because then there's no point in coming back after a while because you've already experienced everything and you already have all the characters, so there's no point in coming back after a while. But if you have to unlock everything, then again it incentivizes them to keep coming back to unlock everything. Kirby Lover says, Smash Ultimate was far superior until Pythra. Did I just say? Oh my god, I just said Pythra. Fucking Twitter. Oh my god. Smash Ultimate was far superior until Pyra and Mythra were added. God damn it. Pyra and Mithra are really not that overpowered. Like, yeah, they're really good characters, especially Mithra, but I don't think they're that busted at all. Like, if you don't like the characters, I get it, they're kind of obnoxious, but there's definitely counterplay. You just have to be really patient about it. But they're not broken, and I don't think they ruin the game. I don't think one character should, like, you know, you just disrupt your enjoyability of the game unless they're like super prevalent in competitive play, which they're really not. There's still plenty of other characters that top players use, so I don't really get this opinion that much, to be honest. Now, Rosemary Taval says, sorry, but more like Bowser Furry. Now, our boy Switch NX says, in the meantime, we can play Mario Kart Tour. It's not as bad as people say. It even kind of has a progression system like the one you were talking about in this one. Yeah, I already tried Mario Kart Tour, and honestly, I'm not the biggest fan. Like, it's a pretty decent mobile game, all things considered, but it didn't really satisfy my Mario Kart itch, if you will. It's already been way too long in between like actual new like console entries anyways, so I think it's about time that Nintendo announces a new Mario Kart. But honestly, given, you know, all the recent directs and everything and announcements, I doubt that's gonna happen anytime soon. Now, BlazeBurn17 says, alright, but where's Mario Pinball? You know what, you got a point. I gotta fix my tier list, man. Give me a second. There we go. Now that's the proper placement. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I'm sorry, I forgot to put it in the original video. Anonymous Troll says every company is a bad company, and honestly, this entire interaction speaks louder than words. I don't really have to comment anything on this. Now, to finish off the video, we have a comment from Frankie Ruiz that says, to be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Deventerous. The humor is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of the jokes will go over a typical viewer's head. There's also Deventerous' nihilistic outlook, which is definitely woven into his characterization. His personal philosophy draws heavily from Naradiana Volya literature, for instance. The fans understand this stuff. They have the intellectual capacity to truly appreciate the depths of these jokes, to realize that they're not just funny, they say something deep about life. As a consequence, people who dislike Deventerous truly are idiots. Of course, they wouldn't appreciate, for instance, the humor Deventerous' existential catchphrase, "Put Doom Guy in Smash," which itself is a cryptic reference to Tunajev's Russian epic Fathers and Sons. I'm smirking right now just imagining one of those addle-paddle simpletons scratching their heads in confusion as the writer's genius unfolds itself on their television screens. What fools, how I pity them. And yes, by the way, I do have a Deventerous tattoo, and no, you cannot see it. It's for the ladies' eyes only, and even they have to demonstrate that they're within 5 IQ points of my own, preferably lower, beforehand.